Speaking your truth is one of those things that you don't know you need it until you figure out how to do it.
Yeah, I just never really felt like I fit in. And then going back to, I fit in with me now.
Yeah. But you gave me a list of 5 key things in your life, right? That are super important to you, that you say are the most important thing. Let's see where they're on the calendar.
We're all stuck with the belief that, if we do more, we'll get more.
Yeah.
So it's just getting away from that.
Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of the TPM Show. Once again, we are at the TPM Ranch, and I have a very special guest for you. A man that has been probably where you have been, and a man that has done the work and coming out the other side. And he's also an amazing guy that's actually volunteered his time to be at the TPM Ranch to help 9 other men go through a transformational experience that we call the Alpha Reset. The one and only Eric the Viking. How you doing, brother?
Hey, doing good.
Good.
Glad to be here.
Yeah, man. This is your 3rd reset?
I think, well, including the one I did, I think this is the 4th. 3rd volunteer.
Yeah. 3rd volunteering, man.
Yeah.
What do you get out of volunteering?
Oh, man. It's just, selfishly, I get like another reset.
Yep.
And it just gets to keep pulling back the layers of the onion a little bit more and more, and just get that opportunity to really serve. Mm-hmm. That's really my heart, is just to serve people and human connection.
Yes.
And you definitely get that here.
You do. You do. Well, let's go back to, so I call myself Doug 1.0, right? Okay. So you're probably at Eric 3.0 at this point, but going back to Eric 1.0, would you have had that same desire, do you think?
Yeah. I mean, as far as the servant heart?
Yeah. Was that something you were always doing?
Yeah, I do. I've been different part of different men's movements and men's societies and things like this, and some other paths that I was in.
Yep.
Always seemed to rise within those. And, for me, really, TPM just kind of put all of those together. It was like the right correction on the lens, right? And then from that, moving into the brotherhood and just getting the support from all the guys, the accountability, the community was just really such a pivotal point for me to really shift. And with that, especially here at the 2 Alpha Resets ago that I volunteered for, Mark Hainsworth was the guy on that, and we were doing an exercise that allowed me to really see some real clarity within myself, and the outcome of that was me speaking my truth. Yeah. And not only just speaking the truth, but believing it within myself. And from that moment, it's just been pivotal to my life. I'm able to show up for myself personally, within my business, within my family, my marriage, all of that. I mean, I'm seeing just massive results from it.
Speaking your truth is one of those things that you don't know you need it until you figure out how to do it, right? And it's kind of this idea that everybody thinks they're authentic to a degree, and it's not until you really put yourself out there that you find out what being authentic is.
Yeah. And I mean, for me, it was like I always knew my truth. Yeah. I think most men do, but it's that fear that held it back from actually speaking it. Mm-hmm. And just continuing to be nudged and called forward into that, and then really just getting some breakthrough. And it came in millimeters for me. It was just a little bit here, a little bit there, and the next thing you know, those external things that were telling me that I was good enough, I started to believe it. Yeah. And then as I started to believe that I was good enough and that I was worthy of love and that I was love, I was able to just embody that and just start to living it in my life. And then when that shift happened, everything else shifted as well too. Because I used to believe that if I could, change the person, change the bank account, change the situations at work, then I would be okay. But it's like when I became embodied okay with me, like truly, I have a joke that I always say. It's like my birthday is 11/10/1972. No, you can't have my social security number. But you can tell me it's 73 all day long, but that's my truth. It's 72. Yes. So it's like now I can look at that when that pushback comes or challenge or judgment, to where it's just I can just see it for what it is. It's like, that's not my truth. I know it. So then I get to just walk that out and not necessarily brush that off, but just not let it affect me at the level that it used to.
How have other people received this kind of, quote, new version of you?
Oh my gosh. Yeah. I mean, I've had some candid conversations with my wife, and, I think there's a higher level of just the safety. I think, or our relationships, the best it's ever been. My leadership team just a few weeks ago was just like actually literally applauding me in the meeting, like, dude, like we've seen it there, like you're showing up. It's so awesome. And just some of the accolades and the acknowledgement from my kids, and just, showing their appreciation, and just, telling me how much they love me and how proud they are and things like that. And, and even just some of the things I've heard from the men in the group and things like that. So
that's awesome, man. And how does it feel for you?
Feels amazing.
Yeah.
It feels amazing. It's great to hear those things, but yet it just feels amazing within me, even without it.
Yeah.
It's like, I don't need the little award that says, I don't need the t-shirt. And even with or without it, I'm really wholeheartedly good.
That's the validation is just, it's like the icing on the cake, right?
Yeah.
The cake's already good. It's delicious. But when your team stands up and applauds you, when your wife notices, and other people in your life that you care about, and people who know you, like your team knows you, right?
Yeah.
They've seen you in your worst moments. I'm sure as a business owner, we don't always show up unstressed, not anxious,
right?
Anxiety comes with the job, right? For a lot of us. Now, a lot of us find ways of getting rid of that and reducing anxiety, but they've seen you at all these highs and all these lows, and for them to recognize the man that you are is just a beautiful thing.
Yeah, and not even just noticing that, publicly and applauding it, let's say, it's just people are just curious. They're like, hey, man, like, what's going on with you?
Yeah.
It's like, man, you just seem so happy all the time. You just seem so grounded and things like that. And then I creates an option. It's like, well, do you really want to know?
Yeah.
Because I like to keep things just really straight and candid.
Yeah.
And then I start talking, and then next thing you know, a lot of times I'm recommending people to watch the podcast, things like that. Or just meet guys for coffee, or, it doesn't have to have like the structure of any sort of program or anything. It's like just being open to listen and hear and get curious, seek to understand where a guy's coming from. And from that, with no judgment or anything, I just can just listen to that and just reflect back what I'm hearing. And if anything, they just feel seen, heard, and valued from that conversation. They walk away feeling better.
That's awesome. And the ripple effect that's going to have,
Yeah.
right? I mean, I think men can find it difficult. I get asked this question all the time, like, how do I talk to other people about this? And I think what people forget is a lot more people are going through hard times than we know.
Oh, yeah.
And even if a guy is like not interested, let's just say this show, right? That you said you sent to people or you recommended. If you sent anything to a guy and said, hey man, I'm just thinking about you, thought you might like this.
Yep.
Just the fact that another grown man is reaching out and thinking about you makes us all feel good.
Yeah. That's bringing up for me right now, Doug, that from my experience, I think so many men feel alone.
They do.
I know I did.
Yeah.
I surrounded by all these people and places and things and materialistic things that's supposed to make me feel good. But, actually even, being part of TPM originally, I did. I felt always in groups, especially around men. I always just felt like, I don't fit in. I'm not cool enough or tall enough or whatever. Not that really. I'm short, but I care less. It's like, to me, I'm 6 foot tall.
Yeah.
So
I had the same problem. It's a gift or a problem, not sure.
Yeah, exactly. So, I just never really felt like I fit in. And then going back to, I fit in with me now.
Yeah.
So with that said, I do fit in. I fit in wherever I am because I am in the fullness of that. I'll get too down into all the woo-woo, but
no.
Yeah.
I think you're spot on. I've talked about this before on the show, but I have young kids, and as it is, you end up hanging out with their friends' parents.
Right.
And luckily we have a great group of people that we hang out with. And there's one gentleman who I love dearly. He's a great guy. And he had some drinks in him, so he started to get a little emotional. And the women in this group have formed a really tight bond. They work out 3 times a week in my garage, which I converted. They're really, really close.
Wow.
Like they've been there for each other through some hard times. And us group of knucklehead dads, also get together. And one guy said, hey, he's like, oh man, I love the bond the women have. I wish we had something like that, guys. And so me being me, I go, dude, you never respond to any invitations, any texts. All of us here go do stuff. And we at least message each other and respond. You notoriously don't ever respond. We want you to be in a group, but you've alienated yourself. And it was like a record skip. The whole place went silent and looked, but I was just, you know me well enough to know I'm very direct as well.
Yeah.
And just, it was from a place of love. And then the party kind of kept going, what have you. And he came up to me, he's like, dude, thanks so much. Thanks for just being honest.
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, man. Like, you know, we want, and so I think a lot of times us men make up a story that we don't belong, and we wait for the other guy. Like, oh, why isn't Rick, Charles, Frank, Eric reaching out to me when he's hanging out with Colton over here?
Right.
What's wrong with me?
Yeah.
And it's really us that gets to initiate.
Yeah. Or that they don't have the time, right? I'm so busy.
Yeah.
You know, but there again, it gets back to priorities, right? Mm-hmm. You know, got to put the mask on yourself first before you can serve everybody else. Just to bring it back, it was November of last year. That's why I realized for myself that how much I was still being the nice guy, I was still serving everything and everyone else. Yeah. And, you know, it's just like, oh, I'm fine. Really, my tank was empty.
Yeah.
You know, I'm a high energy guy, but yet in a cellular level, I was just depleted.
Yeah.
So, you know, I blocked out 4 days by myself, and I literally went into my Google Calendar and pushed delete from the whole rest of eternity after that. Yeah. And I thought it was crazy. And I was like, well, if it's important enough, somebody get a hold of me to reschedule. Yeah. So what I did was schedule my life first. Good. You know, because it was always everything else. And I tried to squeeze in 5 minutes here or 5 hours there or a day there. You know, so I just plugged it in literally, you know, what I do my routine in the morning, some clarity breaks throughout the day, my decompression in the evening, date nights, CFO time with the kids, more times away by myself, quarterly vacations, you know, all these just a lot of different things in there. And then now I have the opportunity to actually just when somebody, hey, Eric or Doug says, hey, Eric, you want to get together on Tuesday? Well, let me look at my calendar. Like, nope, I don't have time that day, but I can on Thursday at 2 or 4. Which one you want, you know?
Yep.
Because it was like, it was a mindset that I'd feel bad, right? If somebody, I couldn't say no.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
So I was the yes man. And now I just get to serve me first. And as I'm doing that, you know, a lot of guys will complain like, oh, well, it takes away time from my job and this and that. Well, if I'm serving me first, if I'm at like a 3, now all of a sudden I'm elevated to an 8 to a 10. It's like my work production goes up, my profit margins go up, you know, everything, you know, the connection with my wife, my kids, everything goes up. Yeah. And a lot of guys, from my experience, just kind of have it backwards. And there's fear that's holding them back.
It's fear, and society sells us that, right? I mean,
exactly.
weren't you? I mean,
man,
I thought I was going to retire at 30. I was working 7 days a week. I was working double time. And I thought, started a business at a very young age. Thought for sure 30, maybe 33, I'll be retired or be able to.
Right.
Not that I ever retire at this point. It's funny because one of the things that happens for a lot of the men that come through the activation method in particular, and the acceleration blueprint, but the activation method is they come to work on their marriage. And you know, the classic line, I came to work my marriage and I found myself, or I saved myself. I hear that all the time. I'm sure you do too.
Yeah, that was me.
And right, the guys are like, holy crap, I'm working less and making more money. I didn't think this would affect my business.
Yep.
And when something's going wrong in your life, if you're a business owner, it's going to take up headspace, you know, and you like me and the guys listening to this, when we're depleted, we always think, all right, I can do a little bit more. Mm-hmm. And we push ourselves until something breaks.
Yeah. And it's a 16-hour day we put in. You're laying there in bed going, oh, I could have done more.
Yeah. All you're thinking about the things that need to get done.
Yeah.
Right? The open loops.
Exactly.
It is absolutely crazy. You know, when you mentioned the calendars, I've shared this many times, but before TPM, I used to do this too. I did high-end coaching, but I also used women. So it was business executives and owners.
Yeah.
And one of the first things I would do, these are high net worth individuals. They're paying 6 figures for coaching. It's a big investment financially, also time, right? Time's a big thing for them. And one of the first things I'll do, and I'll say like, Eric, all right, what are your priorities? Like you're reflecting on life. What's most important to you? And they'll, oh, well, Doug, you start to list
my family, my dog, and
the vacations. And okay, great. Pull up your calendar. Excuse me? No, do a screen share. Pull up your Outlook calendar, Google Calendar, whatever you use. I want to see it now. And then they'll reluctantly do it. And I'm like, okay, you just gave me a list of 5 things, right? And we go into much more detail. But you gave me a list of 5 key things in your life, right? That they're super important to you, that you say are the most important thing. Let's see where they're on the calendar. I cannot think of one time when I've seen all of them on the calendar, you know, and I've been doing this for a long time.
Right.
So it gives you an idea. Do I see work meetings on the calendar? every time.
Yeah.
You know, occasionally I'll see like a kid's soccer game or something like that, but that's also pretty rare. And just show us, like, show me your calendars. I'll show you your true priorities.
Yeah.
And you can do the same thing with someone's bank account.
Yeah.
Right? Your marriage is really important to you. Okay, let's pull up your bank account. Show me date night expenses. Not that you have to spend money on date night because you can do it for free, but let's be real.
Yeah.
All of us are spending money on date night at some point, or on our kids, or the vacation with the family. Let's see it.
Yeah.
And you hear guys all the time say, I just don't have the time for that vacation, or it's too expensive to do the X, Y, or Z or Z. So he's talking to the UK guys. He said Z. But they wait till later to do it. And unfortunately, some guys wait till it's too late.
Wait till it's too late.
Yep.
Yeah, 100%. That's bringing up something else for me that, I know I've been this guy myself, to where, and there was a guy I was talking to that he just spent a week in Hawaii with his wife. Came back. He got back on a Sunday. This was a Tuesday, and they're back at it squabbling. He's like, man, I just spent all this money, did this whole vacation, and she's back. I'm like, yeah, that thing has a shelf life.
Yeah.
And I said, for that period of time. And it's like each day, you got to show up each day. Doesn't need to be a Hawaii trip every day, but it needs to be something.
Yes. So we talk about safety at TPM a lot, right? And that was a concept that was so foreign to me. Like, my wife told me she didn't feel safe. I was like, what the fuck are you talking about?
Yeah, right.
You're plenty safe. But it was the emotional safety I didn't understand. And so I was talking to one guy, and I was working with one-on-one, and he had explained to me that he had been a jerk for a very long time. And so he calls me ranting and raving. I've been so awesome for 2.5 weeks, whatever time it was, but roughly.
From his perspective, right?
From his perspective, Doug, I've done everything right. And then I finally snapped, and yelled at her, why won't you have sex with me? Why won't you do this? Why won't you? And he was going to expletives and very specific things that you wouldn't say to most probably wives, depending, especially if you're in a relationship that's not working. And let's just call this guy's name John, and it's not his name. I go, John, so you've been great for 2.5 weeks. Yeah, I've done everything you've told me. I've been the best. I'm like, okay. Well, first of all, it sounds like you're doing it for something.
Yep.
Right? So that's not really real. Second thing is, you said you were a jerk, right? He said, oh yeah, I was a jerk for over a decade. I was the worst guy ever. Like, I missed this, I missed that, births of kids, all wedding. I missed everything, out all night, like all of these things. I was the worst. Okay, so your wife's got 10 years of evidence of you being an asshole.
Yeah.
Right? And you couldn't even go 2.5 weeks. Right? What are you expecting?
Right. Trust is pretty small.
The trust is going to be extremely small.
None.
Because you need that consistency, like you're saying. You can't just buy the Hawaii vacation and expect that that's going to all of a sudden, hey, I spent $3,000, $6,000, whatever on the vacation, therefore you owe me. That's horse trading. It's a transaction.
Yeah.
Now you're in a business deal, not a relationship.
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I can just relate that to my business where I'm at like literally today. The version of Eric that wasn't showing up for himself from 2 years ago, I am reaping the fruit or bad fruit of that today.
Yeah.
And then so now this new version gets to.
Hey guys, I just want to share something with you. I'm sure we can both agree that in order to fix something, you need to know what's broken. And not only need to know what's broken, but a step-by-step methodology on how you can fix it. That's the easiest way to do it, right? Otherwise, you're going to be toiling with things. That's why I created a free training, a training that not only shows you how you got to where you are, where your relationship is missing that love, respect, admiration, and even intimacy that it used to have, to how you get it back. How do you retain that where your wife's looking at you the same way she used to look at you when she said, I do? I don't know about you, but for me, when my wife looks at me like I'm her man, that I feel like I can conquer the world. And I want that for you. Simply go over to thepowerfulman.com/scales. That's thepowerfulman.com/scales. And I have a free video training for you. You can just click play and see if this resonates for you. Now back to the podcast.
Take us to the future. So
yeah,
that's exciting and challenging at the same time.
Sure.
Because, you're just dealing with all those energetic holes that are in the boat that were created or people or process. And, now just bringing it full stern and trying to make it happen.
Yeah. Congratulations, by the way. I mean, so many guys, we get several thousand guys inquire every single month, right? And how many of those guys actually take action? And of those guys that take action, how many actually do the deep work? And you have, right? So kudos to you. It's scary going outside your comfort zone.
Oh, it is.
And it's easy to say, okay, I already got it, right? Which is what a teenager does, right? Teenagers think they know everything. And they're the most dangerous people. You don't want a teenager anywhere near your business, your car, your family.
Yeah.
At least not making decisions. So kudos to you for doing that. And I think what scares guys is the unknown on the other side.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're going to make changes. You're going to have to clean some stuff up if you haven't been showing up the way you need to show up. And where you are today, I hope you get to look back at where you were 2 years ago when you joined TPM and laugh.
Yeah.
Lovingly laugh. Like, I always talk about this. So I'm 48. When I turn 49, I hope I laugh at the 48-year-old self of me because I've grown.
Yep.
Right. And have more wisdom. And will I have to clean things up? Probably.
Yeah.
But that's a beautiful
We're
thing.
still human, right?
We're all on this journey, man. I'm certainly not perfect.
Yeah.
I've never claimed to be. But I'm on a journey of bettering myself towards my personal goals, not yours or anybody else's. And I think that's where a lot of us can flounder a little bit, is chasing that, the dream that's been sold to us.
Right. Or that it has to be this way. And if it's not, then there's something wrong with me, right?
Yeah, absolutely. You have to, you're a business owner, you need to be working 60 hours a week. That's just what business owners do.
Yeah.
You
Somebody keeps throwing this one book at me. I'm sure you probably heard it, with the 4-hour work week. I haven't read it, but I'm just like, that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah. So I read that when it first came out. It actually sent me on one of the books that helped me go on my journey. Gosh, I was in my 20s. So that's how long that book, I believe that's how long that book's been out. Wow. Yeah, it has to be. So funny thing, total change of subject, but Tim Ferriss, who's the author of that book,
that's right.
The book has nothing to do with working 4 hours, just so you know. He tested using Google Ads a bunch of titles, and whichever one people clicked on the most, he just called the book that. It's really about, it's about automation and and systems. That was what I took out of it. I've read it probably 4 or 5 times.
Oh, wow.
It was early on in my journey, trying to figure things out. I used to read, I'd walk for an hour a day, listen to an audio.
Right.
Yeah, it's a great book. I mean, you get to figure out how to live your life. And for someone that's been at your stage of your career, you've paid your dues. Yeah. Right? You've paid a lot of them anyway.
Yeah, and I think what I'm trying to say there, Doug, is that it's like, less is more. Because I think we're all stuck with the belief that, if we do more, we'll get more.
Yeah.
So it's just getting away from that.
Yeah, I look at it, I agree with you, and I look at it slightly differently. I think you get to determine the rules of the game.
Right.
And what game you're playing. And so for some guys, you work more because you want to. Right? I work a lot. Yeah. But I choose to. I get to do this, right? Hang out with cool guys like you, have great conversations. But I choose the name of the game that I'm going to play. No, I'm not going to be here at 4. I'm going to come here when dinner's ready.
Exactly.
And different things like that. And get to decide what it is you do.
Dinner's ready. Are you coming up tonight?
Yeah, I'm coming tonight.
Oh, good.
Yeah. I know you have a big business conversation coming on, so thanks.
Yeah, it's all good.
I think we as men or business people get to determine the rules of the game. And in your marriage, like, what game do you want to play? Like, something my wife and I have done is, hey, let's rate our marriage, scale of 1 to 10.
Yeah.
And it can be hard though. Sometimes she's like an 8 and I'm a 6. But sometimes I'm an 8 and she's like a 4.
3.
Or a 3.
Yeah.
And so it could be a tough pill to swallow. Yeah. But the more grounded you become, you take it as just data. Like, oh, okay, what's going on for you? And you'll find out what it is. And you learn quickly. It doesn't mean I've done anything wrong or right for that to happen. It's just where she's at that moment.
Yeah. I've just noticed that myself in regards to the relationship, it just feels like, at least to me, from my perspective, I mean, if Heidi was sitting here, she might say something different, but that it's just been more playful, lighthearted, just not so serious, not having these expectations, right? You know, because the guy's driving home. He's like, when I get home, this is going to happen, this is going to happen. Then I get tonight and I get to bed, this is going to happen. And it's just like, how about you just going with the flow? And then just, what's really been crucial is that decompression.
Yeah.
It's just like literally sometimes like, it's as simple as just changing my shirt. I got a logoed shirt, I'm taking that off, and maybe I'm going the rest of the day with my shirt off, or I'm just putting another shirt on just to have a practical thing of switching gears, right? Kind of like it was Over the Top, and he switches his hat around, right?
100%.
Now I'm ready to go.
Yeah.
So it's just actively doing that, and just that mindfulness and that awareness around, honoring myself and the feelings that are going on within me. Lately, I've been talking about, there's the high energy, just the person that comes out forward, but then underlying, there's these undercurrents, right? Of maybe joy or fear or anxiety or sadness. And that they're down there just like waving a flag sometimes, and as men, we're taught to just like, especially around anger, you got to suppress it, So I find myself, as I'm driving and things like that, as life is squeezing me, instead of just pretending that that's not happening, it's actually just, moving into that energy and like embodying it and using it as fuel to just do whatever I'm doing. Or some sort of release. It might be just yelling or just honoring or just acting out in a way, just kind of a nervous system reset.
Yeah.
And that's really been beneficial as well too, to honor who it is and allow it to flow through me instead of just suppressing it. That builds up.
Yeah, dude. Not only does it build up, but it comes out at the most inappropriate times.
Yes. Yeah. Like the slightest little thing, just pow, and then finally you're done.
Yeah.
Then you're just, then you're trying to fix it. Yeah.
Well, I call it the guilt. I mean, I'm sure it's not my thing, but the guilt shame loop, right? So I'll describe it from me, because I won't put on anybody else, but I'm pretty sure most men can relate. You hold it all in because you're being a nice guy, right? You bite your tongue.
Yep.
All right. Yeah, I'll take the truck. Yeah, okay. Yep. I'll change the oil in the truck. Okay. Yeah, all right. And then eventually, your cup is empty. You're depleted, and you're kind of like, you know what? I work all day, and you're staying at home. Why shouldn't I have to do any of the dishes?
Right.
And you go off, and your wife is now upset. Now you're disconnected, and you're like, oh, I'm an asshole. Then you feel shame.
Yep.
And then you feel guilt, and then you get angry at yourself.
Yep.
Stuff it down. That cycle repeats. It's like an eddy, right? Like, if being in this loop, this crazy loop over and over again, where emotion is energy in motion. So I think of it. You get to transmutate that energy.
Yeah.
And do it in other ways. Sometimes you can just have a conversation. I've got a Thai kickboxing bag in my garage. Sometimes I'm like, you know what? I just need a minute. And I'll go out there. My wife could hear the whole garage shaking. She knows what's going on.
Yeah.
But she much prefer I take that anger and upset out there, and I'll come in and okay, I'm better. Let's talk.
Yeah.
But you got to get it out. And as men, as you said, and you know this all too well, we stuff it down, and you and I doing the TARs and other things that you've been through, see men that have stuff down since childhood, right?
Yeah.
And deep-seated things that just need a safe place to release. I'll share one more story that I share often. Is there was this gentleman that was at one of our events, and big guy, big old boy. And his kind of, I think what he took pride on is he was the baseball coach, the football coach, the basketball coach, and he was a big, strong dude, and he would protect children, no problem at all. Like he would,
Gotcha.
he was that guy.
Yeah.
And so I looked him in the eye. I said, "You'll never go near my kids. I don't trust you." And he just crushed them. He was like, "What?" Go, because you can't control your anger. I can see it in you.
Right.
You're stuffing it down. You're looking at me. And he had this stance, and he's like, "What do you mean?" He had the huge smile on his face.
Right.
But you've done this enough to know that I can see through the mask.
Feel that. Yeah.
But it's also his left foot was forward, his right foot was back. He was standing at an angle, just like if you were throwing a punch. He's like, "I'm not angry." Dude, I can see you're pretty pissed at me right now.
Right.
And I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
You need to learn how to release this and control it. And by the end of the event, to his credit, I go, "Dude, you could watch my kids, hang out with my wife without me anytime. I completely trust you."
Yeah. Isn't that amazing? I mean, they come in one way and just out another. I mean, you can just see it on them. And then when they leave, it's just so.
In only 3 days.
It's just beautiful. Yeah. It's like a year's worth of therapy in 4 days, a few days.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
We had a guy one time overcome 20 years of therapy, an issue he had for 20 years and had been going multiple times a day for 20 years for one specific thing that had been holding amazing businessmen. You would never know I'm not going to say what his issue was,
Yeah.
but you never would know what it is. But I will tell you, well, anyway, you never know what it is. And I started crying when he shared it with me. I had just tears in my eyes just because I had no idea. And then when it came out for him and he had overcome it, it was just such a joyous occasion.
Yeah.
And
That's
he's
beautiful.
talking to him afterwards. He's been so free.
Yeah.
You know, it's an awesome thing.
Yeah. You've done a great job.
Oh, thanks, man. Well, I mean, it's men like you that are doing the work and you're coming back. I mentioned this to Coach Steve earlier, but I hope someday you realize the ripple effect that you're having. I know you kind of know it, but
Right.
that you see, you know, we have 9 guys coming, but these 9 guys are going back to families with kids and going back to businesses.
Right.
And that ripple effect is spreading out. So those 9 guys might be 90 people touched relatively quickly.
Yeah.
You know, and
That's
you've done
awesome.
this 4 times.
Yep. And I look forward to Alpha Rising in October and
Yeah.
another reset volunteer in December.
Are you?
So yeah,
I love it.
Yep,
babe.
that one's scheduled. So
Cool. That's awesome. We're
Yeah.
going to build you a little house on the property.
yeah, right.
Got 106 acres. We can make it happen.
Yeah, no kidding.
Yeah, that's great. The Rising, so for the guys that are listening to this that don't know, the Alpha Rising, because we don't talk about that much, is the second phase of the Alpha Reset. So men have got to be in their year 2 of our programs to even go to it. And it's going to be an amazing event. I'm excited for you.
Yeah, me too. Take it to the next level.
It will, for sure. For sure. And of course, we've told you everything about it.
Oh yeah, yeah, right.
So if you could imagine a buddy of yours, Eric 1.0, one of these guys that you sit down, a guy listening to this right now, you know, I would be the guy walking, listening to a podcast or on the treadmill maybe, or maybe my car. If you could impart a piece of wisdom, 1, 2, 3, whatever it calls to you, what would you like to be able to sit down and say to them?
Yeah, what's first popping in my head is just, and most of us like to think we've got it all figured out. Mm-hmm. But then we look at, our joy level, our peace level, our happiness, and they're at an all-time low. And it's like, oh, well, if you got it so figured out, well, then how come things aren't better in your marriage, with your communication with your kids and your job and your body, And it's really just getting honest with yourself and just going in and surrendering to you. I've had issues in the past with some things, and it's like I had to surrender. It's like I had to go somewhere for help.
Yeah.
I just surrendered to help. Like, Doug, man, I'm really struggling with this. And just, if it's just one man to start with, just to share that I'm going to call it an unpleasant truth. Mm-hmm. It's hidden, unmask it, unreveal it, bring it into the light, and the truth will, set you free, as they say. And, reach out to somebody, anybody, it doesn't have to be a TPM guy, and just whatever it is, the pastor, a friend, a therapist, just start doing something, or even just picking up one of these books or something. And from that, just not being so fearful of the judgment that we perceive that others are putting on us.
That's it.
It's usually me judging myself from my experience.
Well, let me ask you this. Do you like it when someone comes up to you and asks for your opinion or advice?
Yeah.
Everybody does.
Yeah.
Yet we don't want to. So by not asking
Like
for
that.
help, we take it away from the other person,
Yep.
right? We take away their little bit of their joy, by not asking their opinion or their advice.
Yeah.
Because I guarantee every dude likes giving their opinion and their advice, right?
Mansplaining, I think they call it, right?
Well, just telling how it is. That's how I call it.
Exactly.
So instead of being worried about it or what people are going to think of you, just think of yourself, listener, the guy listening to this or watching this on YouTube or wherever.
Mm-hmm.
You can give somebody else the opportunity of having that joy of giving their opinion or their advice. Doesn't mean you have to take it, right?
Yeah.
There's no rules on that, but you can at least just get some collaborative information out there. I love that.
Yeah.
Awesome, man. Well, dude, thanks for everything you do, for the movement,
thank you,
for
dude.
yourself, for your family, for your community. You're making a difference, man. I know you know that. And again, like I said, I would love for you to see it to the fullest level that it is.
Yeah. I appreciate it. It's my pleasure.
Yeah. Awesome, brother. Gentlemen, as I always say, in the moment of insight, take massive action. I mean, Eric is an example of what we call the lighthouse. And lighthouse is simply a man that is shining so brightly and guiding shifts to safe harbor, not going out there and trying to rescue ships like a tugboat, but actually staying on. And I can tell you guys how many times I was the lighthouse that would just turn off when it was inconvenient. Eric's an example of that man that just stays on regardless of the storm, right? He's got backup generators just in case, ready for him to go. So how are you going to be the lighthouse in your environment, in your world? And like Eric said, start by talking to somebody. It doesn't have to be TPM. If it is, contact one of our advisors. It's just a phone conversation. So, I mean, you can even hang up if you wanted to. I'm going to ask that you don't be rude. Those are people with families as well. Most of our advisors have been through our program, and they're men just like us, like you, like me. And so please treat them with respect. And anywhere you go, you should do that. But also if it's a pastor, a priest, a rabbi, if it's a buddy, just grabbing a beer, grabbing a cup of coffee, just really reach out to somebody. And remember, if you have hesitation, just remember how you feel when somebody reaches out to you. You feel great, right? You feel honored and respected that they took the time to talk to you. So maybe you can do that for them. Anyway, you deserve more than average. We'll see you next time on the TPM Show.